You have reached Red Steele's Hospital Collector Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing from Transformer Age of the Primes Skydive. Transformers Age of the Primes Skydive. But before I get into the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, we'll show you what the figure and all its accessories inside. In the top corner here it says, more than meets the eye. Below that you have the Autobot symbol. Over here you have 5 of 5 Superion. In the middle here you have 17 steps to transform him. And on the very bottom here you have an 8+, which is the age required for this figure. Here inside the packaging you have two beautiful illustrations of Skydive, both in his robot mode and in his jet mode. Across the bottom here it says Transformers Age of the Primes. In the corner here you have Aerialbot Skydive. In the other corner here you have the Hasbro emblem. On the top of the packaging here again you have Aerialbot Skydive. In this corner this time you have the Takara Tommy logo. The other side of the packaging here, on the very top it says 5 of 5 Superion. Collect to combine. In the middle here you have a beautiful illustration of Superion. On the bottom here you have Transformers Age of the Primes. Below that you have Aerialbot Skydive. The other side of the packaging here, on the very top it says till all are one. In the middle here you have some beautiful illustrations of some of the Primes. Down here again you have Transformers Age of the Primes, and below that it says it is a deluxe class figure. Then the back of the packaging here, in the corner here you have Aerialbot Skydive. In the other corner here you have 5 of 5 Superion. Collect to combine. In the middle here you have all the figure's features, such as Skydive in his robot mode, Skydive in his jet mode, and over here it says it takes 17 steps to get there. In the corner here you have the More Than Meets the Eye authentic logo, and down here you have the Hasbro emblem. Transformers Age of the Primes Aerialbot Skydive. Skydive was released September 2025 with the suggested retail price of $24.99. It is available at all major retailers. Skydive was released along with the other Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Wave 3 figures, Fireflight, Micronus Prime, and Venom. Skydive is a Generation 1 inspired figure that converts to his jet mode in 17 steps. His accessories include 2 blasters and instructions. Skydive stands 5.5 inches tall, and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Skydive from his robot mode all the way to his jet mode. But the first thing you always want to do for a Transformer, any Transformers, you want to remove all their weapons and accessories. So I'm going to take this blaster, and I'm going to put this off to the side. The first step of the transformation, you have Skydive's legs right here and right here. In between his legs you have a tab and a porthole. You want to bring his legs together and tab everything into place, just like that. So step number 2, you have these panels in front of his legs right here. You have a hinge nut right there and right there. You want to take this panel and open it up just like that. Do that to yourself, that panel, and open it up just like that. So step number 3, you have Skydive's feet right there and right there. You have a hinge nut right there and right there. You want to take his foot and bring it in just like that. Do that to yourself, that foot, and bring it in just like that. So step number 4, at the front of this panel here, you have a porthole right there and right there. On the thigh, you have a peg right there and right there. You want to take this panel, you want to go ahead and peg it right into place just like that. Do that to the other side, to that panel, and peg it right into place just like that. So step number 5, you have Skydive's fist right there and right there. You have a hinge nut right there and right there. You want to take this fist and flip it right into the forearm just like that. Do that to the other side, to that fist. Go and flip that right into the forearm just like that. So step number 6, inside the forearm you have this porthole right there. Inside the body you have a little peg. You want to do that arm now, you want to peg it right into place just like that. You want to do that to the other side of that arm now and peg it right into place just like that. So step number 7, I'm going to take Skydive's head here and rotate it all the way around. To step number 8, you have this chest panel right here. With that chest panel pried up just like that to reveal a landing gear. So step number 9, you want to go and turn Skydive all the way around. You have this backpack right here. You want to take this backpack and untap it from the back just like that. Step number 10, you take this backpack now. You want to go fully extend it up just like that. So step number 11, you want to take this backpack, bring it down. You have a couple tabs right there. You have a couple portholes right here. You want to bring that backpack in and tab it right into place just like that. So step number 12, we'll take Skydive's wings right here. And you got a little porthole right here. You got a little tab right there. You want to bring it so it tabs right into place just like that. Do that to your side to that wing and tab it right into place just like that. So step number 13, you get these tail fins right here. They're on a hinge joint. You want to go and take that tail fin, bring it down just like that. Do that to the other side, do that tail fin in just like that. Because now you have this rear center fin right here. On step number 14, you want to take that center fin and rotate it all the way around just like that.
Step 15.
This whole back piece right here. You want to do this whole back piece. And you want to flip it up just like that. It's step number 16. You want to do that back end now. You want to bring it up just like that. Because in the 17th and final step, you want to take this whole back piece. You want to bring it down and in just like that. And now you have Skydive in this full jet mode.
Now there's Skydive in his jet mode, and on my display table, I just want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his blasters. He includes 2 of these blasters, and according to the instructions, we're going to arm Skydive with his blasters while he's in his vehicle mode. You do that because on the bottom of the blaster here, you have a 5mm peg. You flip over Skydive, on the bottom of his wings, there's a 5mm porthole right there and right there. Once you take that blaster and plug it right in that porthole just like that. Do that to your side to the other blaster, plug it right in that porthole just like that. And now you have Skydive armed with both of his blasters while he's in his jet mode. Very cool play feature, but personally I'm not a big fan of arming my Transformers while they're in their alt mode. And the alt mode is anything that is not the robot mode. This is a vehicle mode, the animal mode, in this case a jet mode. So I'm going to go and take these blasters, put them off to the side. And even with the Generation 1 toy, Skydive's blaster didn't have anything that was mounted to the bottom of his wings. And in the cartoon series, when Skydive fired any projectiles, it usually came out of the nose cone or the end of the wings. There wasn't really any weaponry mounted on the wings anyways. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about Skydive's jet mode. And Skydive's jet mode is very loosely based on the anime model from the Generation cartoons and the Generation 1 toy. And they deviated from that design element only because they needed to implement all 3 modes, the Superion mode, the robot mode, and the jet mode. And with the Generations toy line, and the Generations toy line incorporates War for Cybertron, Legacy, Age of the Primes, and Studio series. And those figures, I feel, are backwards compatible, where they actually took the anime model from the cartoon series in robot mode, designed the toy, then they engineered the alt mode from the robot mode. Well, the original Generation 1 toy, they had the actual vehicle mode, and the engineers had to go ahead and engineer a robot mode from that. And that's what happened with the Generation 1 toy, and that's why the jet mode is so much nicer. And I think this one takes it when it comes to the alt mode, because the jet mode is fantastic with this. I mean, the design element's nice. I mean, on the bottom you kind of see some, you can see the actual head, but you can see some, design elements from the robot. And you got the wheels here, which is a nice touch. You got the landing gear right here, which I think is the molded piece. Oh, actually, landing gear's right here. I'm sorry. And it's an actual wheel, which is really, really nice. And they actually did that with this version of Skydive, where they gave him a landing gear, because a lot of the other Generations toy line figures, they went without doing some landing gears. And what happens is you have your figures sitting on its surface here, and it risks causing damage to the actual figure, especially when it's on an abrasive surface. So like a lot of children will probably play with the figures and roll across some concrete. You want to avoid that because you don't want any damage done to your figure, because there's really no wheels or any mounts. And I know they attempted to put a landing gear right here, which is nice because a lot of the previous Generations toy line did not have those options. But the jet mode, like I said, is not very faithful to the animated model or the toy design from the Generation 1 toy, but it's very forgivable for the reasons behind it. And let me go ahead and bring my Combiner Wars version of Skydive, because he kind of deviated far from the Generation 1 design also. But I don't know if they're just trying to do a modern take on Skydive, because he has the two top tail fins on the top here. They went away from the blue trademark fin here, and I'm kind of glad they brought that design element back to Age of the Primes, because that's his trademark blue fin. I mean, it's so weird that a black, white, and yellow jet will have a blue fin just pop out of nowhere. But I mean, it's just what it is. But this figure was very, very nicely done. I mean, you can see the paint decor here is very nicely done, gold paint. It's just a nice figure. But I think it's maybe a modern take on this version of the jet. I'm not very versed on military jets or hardware or artillery, so I'm not sure if this is an actual jet or not. I know this is an actual jet, but I'm not sure if this is. I don't know if this was based on the IDW comic book version of Skydive, and that was just a exclusive jet they designed for that character, or this is an actual jet that they use as an alt mode for Skydive. But nonetheless, you can see like some of the differences here. Yes, that he does have military hardware mounted to his wing right here. There's a couple of missiles, you know, and that's what I think those blasters were supposed to be for this figure. But it's nice that you're able to detach it, because there's no signs of that with the original Generation 1 toy. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Commando Wars version of Skydive, put it off the side, and my Generation 1. And this figure is a nice jet. It's nicely done. And I know I gave Fireflight a very harsh review because I felt that jet was a brick with wings. And this figure is not too bad. And saying that Slingshot, Silver Bolt, and Air Raid are nicely done, this is acceptable. It's a nicely done jet also. The only one I didn't really care for is Fireflight, but 4 out of 5 is a good ratio.
Skydive in his robot mode, and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First, I talk about his blasters. And like I mentioned earlier on, he includes 2 of these blasters. According to the instructor, there's a way to arm Skydive with these blasters while he's in his robot mode. This was the bottom of the blast here. It's actually a 5mm peg. And the inside of each one of his fists is a 5mm porthole. Hit that blaster and plug in either one of his fists just like that. Do that just like the other blaster and plug in his other fist just like that. And now you have Skydive armed while he's in his robot mode. Very, very nice. But the original Generation 1 toy only included 1 blaster, so I'm going to take this other blaster and put it off to the side, because I want to kind of say as authentic as I possibly can and just display him as he appeared in the Generation 1 cartoon series and the Generation 1 toy. And I have to say, Skydive is fantastic. I mean, I know I just got done doing Fireflight, and I felt that the back of Fireflight's heel was a little lazy how they did the transformation, but this transformation is nicely done. You even got the little element where you get the jetpack here, or the mini jet here as part of his backpack. Very, very nicely done figure. It's very faithful to the anime model from the Generation 1 cartoon series, and that's what us collectors clamored for. I mean, our Generation 1 toy looked nothing like they did on the cartoon series. And that's very forgivable because, you know, just finding out as an adult what the animator had to work with, they worked with faxes. So Takara or Hasbro sent them over a fax, and the fax was all dotty and shady, and they had pretty much the basic outline of the figure, but they couldn't get too much detail out of the actual fax because the fax was spotty, dark. And if I get a picture of the fax, I'll put it up for you guys. But yeah, it looked nothing like the actual toys. So the character that we saw in the cartoon series looked more like this, because this version of Skydive is very faithful to the anime model from the Generation cartoon series. And to go from the toy design to that is just fantastic. It's really, really, really surreal for me right now. Look, 40 years in the future, where we had the cartoon series, we had these figures, and never in our wildest dreams could us Transformers fans imagine that Hasbro and Takara would be able to engineer a figure that looked just like they did from the cartoon series and transform it into a jet. I mean, the jet's not great. It's a good jet, but it's not a great Skydive jet. It's not very faithful to the actual jet that he's based on. But it's very forgivable because this robot mode is just freaking awesome. It has a lot of points of articulation. You know, you have kind of like toe articulation somewhat. You have knee articulation. You have the thigh swivel. You have the hip articulation, waist, elbow. Don't really have any fist articulation, but you have shoulder, up and down, up and side to side. And you got head articulation, which is kind of a ball socket joint. That's kind of
limited because of the actual head sculpt, but it's a very, very nicely done figure. And to have a figure that looks so much like he did from the cartoon series with these many points of articulation, it's just radical. It blows my mind that they're able to pull off these cool robot modes, because I mean, every single Aerialbot in the robot is fantastic, and from what I've seen about Superion, or from Superion as of right now, he's fantastic, and you'll see that with my actual Superion review. Just a fantastic set, and Hasbro Takara just blowing me away with these figures nowadays. I mean, they're just coming out these generation figures that just are so faithful to the animated model, but very cool as toys. Also, it's very, very cool. But just for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Combiner Wars version of Skydive also. And this Skydive kind of gives me that Bayverse vibe, where he's kind of got that Bayverse design element to it. But I think this figure is actually designed off of the IDW comic book animated design. So he's got some cool, like stylistic, modern-looking traits to himself. I mean, he's even got the little backpack in the back, where he's got that little jet backpack. Very, very nicely done figure. Very, very different than the Skydive that I grew up with. But nonetheless, all the Skydives have a special place in my heart. This figure was my definitive Skydive until Age of the Primes. And I mean, like, Age of the Primes Superion, just really killer. You guys gotta check out the review once I have it up. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Generation 1 and Combiner Wars version of Skydive, put them off to the side. But if you found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, and while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Red Soda's Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.